Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about Blackish Season 1 Martin Luther King Day. Happy Martin Luther King Day, everybody. A very important day from a very important man that helped shape the way America is, and even the whole world, if you will. It is when a man marched on Washington, and he had a dream and he gave his inspirational speech that was heard by millions. And sadly, this visionary lost his life because certain people, white people, could not handle it and everything. And they could not handle the fact that there should be equal rights for all like humans, no matter what their skin color is, or their like sexuality, or their gender and stuff. And so this man became a martyr, and things started to change to the point now where you see, for the most part, a lot of black people are being respected. They are getting certain jobs that they would have had before. However, there are still those out there that try to keep us down, whether it is within voting rights or like some form of segregation, or people whining and complaining on YouTube, we are being replaced and everything. And it's truly sad that like the world, even though it has moved forward in a place that is a whole lot better than what it used to be, it still has some of those lingering hate, you know, with statues, flags, and like crazy people and stuff. And so this episode of Blackish is a show on ABC. It's in its final season. I think it's been on for at least 8 years. This episode was where the Johnson family wanted to celebrate Martin Luther King Day. Well, at least Dre wants to. The rest of the family just wants to stay home. But Dre doesn't do that. Now Martin Luther King Day, a national holiday, which most people just see as a black holiday, but it's a national holiday. And so what his family do is they go skiing for some reason. And so like he's all excited, and on Martin Luther King Day, he always like has his family watch the Eye on the Prize movie. He always has them like recite stuff that has to do with Martin Luther King. But then he starts to notice something, him and Bo. They start to notice that Junior, which is Andre Jr., doesn't know much of anything about Martin Luther King. And it really pisses off Dre when Junior's white friend knows a whole lot more about Martin Luther King than Junior does. And so Dre doesn't seem to understand what's going on until his wife is all like, "But why don't we go to like the parade?" And he's all like, "Nah, I don't want to go to that." And she's all like, "Yeah, there's like bad parking." And they just keep making excuses as to why they can't go. And then he realized, oh wait, they're the bad black parents and everything. And so they want to teach their kids and Junior more about the values of being black and Martin Luther King Day. So she's all like, "So we going to the parade?" He's like, "God, no." Now the parade, I've been to the Martin Luther King parade once when I was a child with my family. We never went no more after that. Not sure why. I'm not really a parade type person, so I don't really go. On Martin Luther King Day, I just celebrate by watching the Blackish episode and also Sliders California Reich that has to do with racism and segregation and stuff like that. I won't be talking about the Sliders episode on this channel. I already did that on my other YouTube channel about a year or two ago or so. And normally when I talk about that show, I only talk about that show on that channel, never like on this one, even though they have like holiday theme episodes and stuff. But yeah. And so like normally for holidays, I just spend them at home watching movies. If it's Thanksgiving, I cook my turkey and stuff like that. If it's Christmas, I cook my ham. On 4th of July, I grill, stuff like that. But for the most part, I just like to sit home and watch movies that has to do with that holiday thing. And so while at work, and the thing interesting about Dre's work buddies, you have Charlie, who's the black dude who's just nuts in the head. You have his other coworker who always tries to support black people but does it in a corny white person kind of way. And then you have the boss, who is what you would call like, he's not racist. He doesn't try to be. He doesn't realize he's racist by the things he say. Like he's one of those types. The way he literally just has no idea the stuff he's saying is racist and everything. So Dre is all like, they're going skiing and everything. But his boss implies that, Dre, since it's a black holiday, I guess you won't be to work on Monday. And Dre's all like, this is our national holiday. Like, what do y'all do when all the black people ain't at work? Do y'all party? Then it's like a little cool dance montage scene of all the white people partying and everything. But then when his boss is like, well, I guess if you don't take the day off, then I guess you can like come to work. And he's like, I'm going skiing. So Charlie ends up going with him because he has no plans and he's very lonely. This is an interesting episode because like it's the start, the introduction of Diane not liking Charlie for some bizarre reason. I have no idea if they ever explained it in the show because I stopped watching it after like the third season because I got tired of like all their family relatives coming to live with them. Like once Bo's brother started living with them, and then I just like tuned out, and then later on Dre's like nieces or whatever started living with them, and then Junior started acting ghetto, and it wasn't the same no more. And so like he goes with them, and the family really does not want to go, and they don't want to be with their dad, who's going to be talking about like history lessons and all this and that. And so like they decided to split up in cars. Now Junior's friend, who was white, whose name's Zach, I just now remember that, he goes with them. And so while on the trip, in the car ride, a police car pulls him over. Dre feels like this is the perfect time to teach his son a lesson about black versus white. So the cop dude's all like, license and registration. Charlie's freaking out because he doesn't want to go back to jail. And so Dre makes a huge scene, a dumb huge scene. And the cop is all like, you know what, you just have like I think like a tail light out or something like that, or a expired license plate, but I'll let you go since this is a black holiday or whatever. And so Dre is upset because he wanted the cop to act like, one of those white cops that like treats black people nasty so he can like teach his son that lesson. So he's upset. And Bo is upset that he is upset about that. Now, while in Bo's car, they're just like, they're listening to Meghan Trainor and everything and just like partying in the car. But then as soon as he calls, they pretend like they have like a history lesson and everything. And so like then Dre goes to like a convenience store called Whitey's, and he's all like, this is the perfect time to teach my son that lesson because the clerk is white. It's called Whitey's. It's in like a hick looking town. So Dre starts stealing candies, all like, I'm gonna make it look like I'm stealing candy so he can like start spying on us. And his son's all like, you are stealing candy and stuff. Now the clerk is one of the nicest people can be. And the candy was actually free candy left over from Halloween. And yeah, that's a couple of months old. Ugh. Anyway, so like, anyway, so yeah. I don't like old candy, and I try to stop eating candy because it's bad for your teeth. Anyway, but then the clerk gets pissed when he sees Charlie drinking the nacho cheese stuff with the ladle spoon, and Charlie's like, "Well, I must try it before I buy it." So that didn't work for Junior. So then Dre tries something different when he gets to the hotel. They were supposed to get adjoining rooms, but they gave it to an older white couple. This pisses off Dre, and he starts like getting in like the cart like push thing, and he starts talking about adjoining, making a huge embarrassing scene. The family is embarrassed. Then when the wife tries to get him off the thing, he flops to the floor like he's a toddler. So here comes security taking him away. while he's in there, he's all like, I shall write my own, like, letter from Birmingham and everything. And then when he sees um, his wife, he's almost in tears. And she's all like, it's only been 12 minutes. He thought he was in there for a long time. He has literally lost his mind and everything. And so they have a talk and discussion. All he wants to do is show his son that, like, even though the world has changed, there are still people out there that, like, keep you down, and there's hidden racism. Because Junior had literally told his father, the world's changed. It's not the way it was back when you were growing up and stuff. And I used to feel the same exact way and when I was younger. Because, you hear things like slavery is over, racism over, and all that. Until Obama ran. And then I saw all the racism just flying through the internet. And I was like, whoa. Then when I got pulled over by a cop, and I wasn't even driving a car, I was just riding my bike around, getting some exercise in a neighborhood that was near my home. And I was just on the left side of the road because, like, I don't want to be on the right and get hit by a car. I want to see the car coming towards me so I can, like, get out the way. I get pulled over by a stinking white cop. And of course he lied. That's the reason why he pulled me over. Then he gave me attitude when I asked him, why did you pull me over and stuff? And it's like, I wasn't even in the street. I was on just like a little neighborhood road of all things. And he pulled me over for that crap. So, like, then as Dre is like, because see, the family, they are having a vacation with their oatmeal foot massages and stuff like that. And so Junior and Dre about to go skiing. And Junior's gonna go snowboarding while the skiers ski. Well, the bus drivers all like skiers are in the front, and people with the boards are like in the rear seats. And so this upsets Junior. He doesn't feel like, why should they have to sit in the rear and they can sit wherever they want and everything. And so, like, then the bus driver makes a white lady get up. Well, he wants her to get up because she has a board and she's in the front seat. So Junior's all like, that's not fair. She's tired and old. She's only 40. And so Junior then gives his I have a dream speech, because then he finally gets what his father's been trying to tell him like this whole time, like racism's in all kind of different forms, and people shouldn't have to like give up their seats just for like certain types of people and stuff like that. And so when he gives his speech, he makes his father proud until he starts talking about the Lord of the Rings, which pisses his father off and everything. And so then it ends with like him and Charlie getting like doing snow angels in the snow and stuff like that. And it's sad that even though times have changed and gotten a whole lot better, there are still those that are like losing their lives because certain cops are like, ooh, I'm scared, so I shot first and everything, and or kind of all kind of other stuff, and it's like, if it wasn't for people like Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and like Rosa Parks, like we as Black people wouldn't be where we are today, and people who have accepted us and embraced us would not have accepted or embraced us, which is a lesson that Into the Spider-Verse star who plays Miles Morales, Shamik Moore, needs to understand with his little ignorant behind. I think it was like, what was it, like a year and a half ago, he went online talking about Rosa Parks should have just gave up her seat or took like a black cab. Ignorant little buck-tooth punk. And then so like, of course he got backlash for it. So how did he apologize? By doubling down on what he said, by not really apologizing and wearing a white hoodie. I kid you not. And it's just like, that dude with his so-called like impressive rap career that's not really going nowhere right now, and acting career that's kind of stalled right now, wouldn't even have those opportunities if it wasn't for people like Rosa Parks, Harriet Tubman, and Martin Luther King and everything. But he is what you would call like a person who is smelling himself, who gets a little money and gets like a fancy job, and now he thinks he's like better than like everybody. And I think if Kathleen Kennedy, or whatever her name is, no, not Kathleen Kennedy, whoever that woman is who used to be in charge of Sony before she made fun of like Obama and Kevin Hart in those leaked emails, like if she can get partially canceled but demoted, then he should get some kind of plaque for that too, for his little prejudice, little behind, little stinking ignorant, little punk. I don't like him. He pissed me off. And I don't care what that one YouTuber says. Yeah, he does a great job voicing Miles Morales, but he does not deserve to play Miles in a live action movie in any kind of way or capacity. I mean, seriously, nobody made him say what he said about Rosa Parks but his own little ignorant self. And he just took it upon himself to do so. Kind of like a Terry Crews kind of situation, or a Tyrese Gibson kind of thing. And it's just because they smell themselves and everything. But of course, when he got backlash and it started affecting his bank account, then he came out with the fake celeb apology, which is more a doubling down than an apology, with his little white hoodie on. Yeah, I know what that symbolism was about. Anyways, happy Martin Luther King Day, everybody.
I have the pleasure to present to you Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. Five score years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream. My four little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day, down prestigious races, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification. One day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. One day every valley shall be exalted, and every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning, my country, tears of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. And so let freedom ring. From the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom ring. From the mighty mountains of New York, let freedom ring. From the heightening Alleghanies of Pennsylvania, let freedom ring. From the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado, let freedom ring. From the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring, and when they happen, when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.